Okay, dokie. I assume and hope everyone can hear me. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing this fine evening slash morning for some of you? Depends on if you're on Europe or not. It's late night for me. It's just about 9:48. I know I'm a bit late. I would have been on time, but for some reason OBS forgot all of my information in terms of my connected YouTube account, so I had to really quickly re-put in all the information. But hello everybody, we are now live. Today my goal is to completely finish the Sanguinius model that I've been working on for Matthew Gordon. Stuff and things, welcome to stream. He arrives fashionably late as always. I wish I hadn't. I wish I had arrived on time. Yeah, that was my goal, was to arrive on time, but unfortunately, OBS had other plans. Havoc, evening to you too, Havoc. How are you doing? Yeah, so this is what I got done so far. We got Sanguinius's chest piece, and part of it, his arm is finished, as well as his headpiece. And we got this component. I'm trying to remember the name of it. But yeah, we got that much is done. I also finished the base. Well, for the most part. I think I might add a little bit more of brighter, like, lava tones around it. But for the most part, the base seems to be done. It's got that lava look I was aiming for. So that should be good. You doing well? Hope you also. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I got out of work a little bit earlier today than I thought. I thought I was going to be stuck at work till close, but then, in a weird way, thankfully we were slow. So that meant I could come home and actually do this feasibly for a few hours. I don't know if I'll actually finish everything on stream. I'm definitely going to try and make as much headway as possible on stream. I'm definitely going to finish this tonight, though. I really, as it is, this has taken way too long. I've let it be on the back burner in between other things way too much. So I need to get this done. So, yeah, I'm going to hammer away at all the remaining details. This isn't everything. Most of the components are actually right over here next to me, still hanging. So I got to do the wings. The wings are probably going to be the biggest thing left to do, honestly. I don't know whether or not I want to start with the wings, though. I think I'll start with doing these other minute details and kind of hammer away at them, and then move to the wings. It's kind of my current plan. Yep. But then again, I could start with the wings, start strong, get those out of the way, and then move on to other stuff. So it kind of comes down to personal preference. It's all getting done tonight, regardless. Just for reference, these are the wings. Yeah, primed in black still. Gonna do a dry brush of white. Yeah. Right now they look like raven wings. It would actually kind of be cool to put them on with only like a gray dry brush, but I think it'll look cooler when it's all said and done. So actually, no. Now that I'm holding them, I think I'll start with the wings and then move on to all the other smaller stuff. Which means I need more paper towel. Ooh, this has been a hectic 24 hours, 48 hours, something like that. Yeah, I've had a bit of a hectic time. Hey there. Alright. I got my palette. There. Alright, so while I do this, I'll change the autofocus and put this in the prime viewing location. We can see what is done and what is to be done while I get this set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry brush the wings with white. I'm going to see how that looks before I try anything else. Problem is, I'm not a real big fan of these dry brushes that I got a while back. So I'm going to use an old one. An old dry brush I have. I do mean old. This thing is not the prettiest, but I don't have it because it's pretty. I have it because it's effective. So, where's my white? Yeah. Not gonna lie, last night I was kind of I was a busy man. I edited together in one night both the podcast and that Radhom video. I had to do that whole in one fucking night. That was crazy. I was able to do it though. I surprised myself with that one. I did not expect me to be able to do that at all, but lo and behold, got it done. Oh, so let's switch autofocus there. I really need to get back into painting. Maybe once my coursework lightens a little bit. Oh, you're in school? How's that going? Coursework lightens a little. Lightens a little. I'll set aside some time each week on a particular day. Hey, I recommend it. It's good for your mental health. I'll say that much. With pristine confidence. It is very good for your mental health. If you can make time for it. Because it certainly helps me relax quite a bit after a bad day. It's just some mini painting. That's why I've mostly been working on this off stream. Just that I've been stressed out from work. Now the work is bad, mind you. The people are great. It's just draining. Gotta deal with angry customers. You gotta deal with angry staff because they think... Yeah, I think you're not doing your job right. So you're trying to work around everybody. Trying to put out fires before they really start. Oh, sorry, I'm kind of all over the place here with this, but it's kind of clunky to hold. Hello, Shadow Fox. How you doing? Welcome to stream. Hello. Grad school. I almost said grade school. Grad school, yeah. I'm a bit rough, a bit tough right now, but working through the hump. Well, I'm sorry to hear it's going tough for you, man. I hope it smooths out. Yeah, it's never fun when school's stressful. And I haven't been in school as a student for a long time, thankfully. I don't know. Me and school never got along. It's not that I did, and the thing is, I did well academically, but I don't know. Definitely wasn't my preferred environment. All right, see if we can get that. Dry brush. Yeah, it's very clunky to hold this. Oh shit. Did not mean to do that. Fuck. Hopefully I can make up for it and make it blend in. else, dude, you fucker. There you go. Libertarian, welcome to stream. I hated school. The only thing worse was everything else. Wait, I hated school. Only thing worse was everything else. Everything else? Like, even that at-home life, you didn't escape any of the stress? Now, as much as I hated school, at least I got to escape it when I got home, typically. Only time I got brought up at home was when my dad was like, "Did you do homework?" He's like, "Yep." But I was smart about it. I did work, I did all my homework at school before leaving. Because I actually used study hall time unlike a lot of my peers. A lot of my peers, they use study hall to dick around and like look up YouTube videos. What was I doing? My algebra and my calculus. Like a good little student. Thing is, I think some of my peers thought I was a bit of a teacher's pet. Truth be told, I couldn't give two shits what my teachers thought about me. I just didn't see the point in meandering with the work, you know? Felt like a little bit of a unnecessary stressor. Kind of liking how that's looking, but at the same time, I'm not sure if that black is actually kind of making it look a little too raveny. Is that a verb, raveny? Hey, Pittis, raven-like would probably be more accurate. Well, look at you having passed English 101. Yeah, let's get a bit more of a solid white on it. Also try not to be too pressured, because some of these wing bits are a little thin for my liking. I don't know, how's that look? Would you guys say that looks pretty good or no? I think the only thing I want to fix is that's a little too solidly white. Which means I have to make the other tips of the wings just as white, otherwise it doesn't blend as much. I mean, God damn it. My brush fell on the floor because gravity is a bitch. Oh, he's kind of like a before and after, you know? I'm thinking about doing Nuln Oil, which is a black wash, so trying to keep it black and white for the most part. I mean, I don't know what other wash would look good. I'll say that wing's good for right now. And do the other one. Auto 144p. What YouTube? What YouTube? Yeah, looking good. Wait, are you watching the stream of a 144p? Well, damn, I can't trust your review then. Hey, it looks good. How much of it can you make out? Not a goddamn thing. But for what I can make out, looks good. Alright. Cool. The pixels look like squares, ones and zeros. 10 out of 10. Absolute, like, totally trustworthy review right there. Oh. Bump the light switch. But yeah, how's everybody's day been going? Outside of this right now. Well, everybody's been having a good one. Has everyone seen the new podcast episode? I hope so. Just work? Pretty chilled. Did see the new podcast episode. It was a good listen. Yeah, I'm very happy to hear. Yeah, I've actually gotten a lot of compliments today about it on like the Discord and stuff. A lot of people were like, like, "Oh, this was the best episode yet, man," which was very nice to hear. It's good to hear that everybody's enjoying it. And I figured everybody would. I mean, every time me and Nathan and Nico just hang out and chat, we always walk away feeling like much better after we've talked and like banted and had a good time. So it's kind of good we get to like share that with everybody else. Everybody can like experience the dorkiness. I mean, again, like we have conversations like we have on the podcast episodes basically all the time in private anyway. We're just now pressing the record button right before we have them, which has been very, very fun. Speaking of podcasts, though, hey Mexican Oni, same shit, different day. Well, I'm sorry to hear that's the descriptor of your day. I hope it gets better than that. I hope that is not the pinnacle of your daily experience. But speaking of podcast stuff, though, today YouTube recommended me the latest episode of the I almost escaped my brain. Lolcal podcast. Lolcal? The podcast with Boogie2988 and Wings of Redemption And Keemstar? Yeah, Keemstar. There's one other person in there. Tommy C. Tommy C, I think is his name. Who I love that guy. Like he's the most fun on the show. I gotta be honest. I find it annoying that some people are like, "Get rid of Tommy." It's like, dude, he like Keem calls their shit out on like that podcast, but fucking that Tommy guy, like he goes at them, and it's amazing. While still having a rapport with them, oddly enough. That is wrong. Sometimes no news is good news, so I'm grateful for the day. I mean, I guess I get you there. If you get a lot of bad news, I can understand that perspective. I know. I don't get a ton of bad news these days. Although I say that, but I just got charged $840 from on my bank account because of a procedure I had to have on my teeth the other day, which I had no idea was going to be that expensive. I figured it was going to be expensive, but I was thinking, oh, like it's going to be like $300, $400 after insurance. No, after insurance, I was paying out the ass of $840, which my soul left my body when they told me how much. And it's not like I could protest very much because my teeth were swollen and my gums were all torn up. I was like, what are you going to do? I guess at that point, just pay. But that was a bit of a shocker. Thankfully, I get paid at my by my work the day after tomorrow. So, nothing worth whining too much over, I suppose. Could be far worse. The most heartbreaking part about it was the first thought I had was like, ah. And I've been saving up to go visit some of my friends in. You know, I've been saving up as best I can because I've been wanting to like visit like my buddy Nathan from the podcast and another buddy of mine for a while now. And now that those plans are even further delayed. I mean, not just further delayed, they're fucking put to a halt after that expense. Like, Jesus. Oh no. Okay, good. They came off. For a second there, I thought I got a bunch of specs on this that I didn't want, but looks like they came right off, which is good. You upped it to 1080p? Nice. Okay. It's just normally at auto 480p. Huh. Maybe your internet connection was detected to be a little iffy. That's my guess. Sometimes YouTube will automatically lower it, if that's the case. They look pretty good for the most part, except for that little bit right there. Because fuck me, I guess. Thanks. How did that even happen? It's just that little dot that just nicked right there. Everything else looks pretty damn good. That one little dot, though, ruins the whole ensemble. Motherfucker. Well, I'm watching my phone. Have the rest of the pasta break for lunch. Oh, you're watching on your phone. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Drama channels. Wait, geez, $800. What are you gonna do? Chew from the other side? I have been actually. That's the thing. Even with what they did over here for my jaw, they now want me to do a root canal on top of what they already did, and then they're gonna put a chrome cap in. So I got even more stuff I gotta pay for upcoming for dental work. So, and they even told me like, oh, for what we did today, you still are gonna want to eat on one side. Don't do whatever you can to avoid the other side. I'm like, what was the point? Went through all of that and I still can't eat out of half my mouth. I don't know. That sucked. But that is the dentist for you. Rarely do you leave feeling better about yourself. I guess that's like most doctor visits, not just that kind of doctor. Alright, so this is really not going to fix the problem in its totality, but better a black dot than a little white dot, though. Because that'll stick out slightly less. Drama channels like Keem and Medicare have never really been my thing. I have no real ill feelings towards them, though. I guess. For me, like, I don't really like Keemstar all that much. I don't hate the guy either. And as for, like, drama channels in general, I don't know, like, traditionally, I don't find anything entertaining about them, but, like, lately, the last month, they've just been, like, I've been listening to, like, random drama videos in between, like, work and stuff. And some of them are quite entertaining, I have to admit. Like, more so than I would traditionally think of that stuff. But overall, has it been my thing? Probably not. I'm not really big into the drama scene either. Granted, recently I covered, like, the Radhom stuff, and I guess for the most part, some would argue that that is no different than what a lot of like drama channels cover. So, you know, I'll take my licks on that one. I probably technically am covering drama as well. That's not my main shtick, though. You know, my main thing is 40K. That's what I love. I don't know. But the reason I brought it up is, you know, I got home from work, and it was in my recommended, so I just clicked on it because it was. I haven't been watching the LolCow podcast. Like I saw it when it was first made, because you know I have been following like Boogie and Wings very seldomly and like in bits and pieces over the last like decade. Just because you know when I started watching YouTube, they were two big faces that everybody knew. So you know, of course, I was kind of interested in the podcast just to see how those train wrecks have been going. And oh boy, oh boy. What freaked me out is like their latest episode. They found someone that made me completely forget about the two of their like fuck ups. Like they found somebody so fucked up to bring on their show that they look normal, and they look sane and like regular people. It's like, wow, maybe these guys aren't as off as we think they are. Because if this is what else is out there, maybe these guys are just like you and me after all. I don't know. It was some like girl who the internet believes has been, how to say this in monetization friendly terms, has been relating to her biological father. Yeah, it's that level of what the fuck. And, and apparently he and her had a fight on stream and he got arrested and now there's like a no contact order. I don't know. I just watched like the first 5 minutes of it and stopped watching. But what freaked me out even more is like the beginning of the podcast, they say like, "Oh, she's a prior guest." I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. What have I been missing?" I thought this podcast was about making fun of Wings and Boogie. Now they're bringing on even worse people? For what reason? I don't know. I don't know. Like, the internet's a freaky place. Sheesh. Well, health is a priority, I know, but the health services in the U.S. are really expensive. They are. They're very, very expensive. The thing is, I have health insurance, but it's from it's from a company, the company I work for. And that's where I get my health insurance. All right. So, do I want to do a wash and then the leather straps? I kind of want to do. I think is I don't want to do an Agrax Earthshade wash, even though that might make the most sense, because that'll stain it way too much. I don't know. My other option is to do Reikland Flesh Shade, but I have no idea. Well, actually, I have an idea how that'll look because I used Reikland Flesh Shade on the on the feathers, feather sprues here. And that doesn't look amazing. I'm going to touch that up a little bit, but I don't know if I want to put it over this dry brush. Shit. So my options are Agrax Earthshade, Nuln Oil. I thought I had a sepia wash somewhere. Thought I did. Yeah, I have a Seraphim Sepia. I don't know if that'll look good, though. Worst case scenario, I apply it and I have to basically reprime the thing black after it dries and then repeat this process, which is why I don't want to do it. Let me try and do a control wash and see if I can apply it to like a single little feather and see if that can give me an idea. We'll do this one. Okay. Kind of gives it like a goldish color. I don't know. Should I go with that, chat, or do you guys think that that off-puts the white too much? Because it kind of gives like a gold effect to the wings. Gold effect fits Sanguinius. That's my thought. So I don't know. I'll go with it, and then I'll send a picture to Matthew Gordon. And if he opposes, then I'll start over the wings. Because it is his commission after all. But again, worst case scenario, he says he don't like it, and I start over. But that should be pretty easy. Just another prime over a black, and then dry brush with white, and then a different color. Totally and easily doable. I think a bit of the off-white gold color would work well to give a bit more dynamic color depth, particularly at the base of the feathers. She. Hopefully, the client agrees with you. I will find out the hard way if that is not the case. Yeah, it does seem to give like a nice like gold kind of feel to the wings. Not completely though. Thankfully the white still kind of shines through a bit. Just kind of gives a slightly dirtying stain effect. It's kind of what I'm going for. Yeah. Still white. Kind of a gold after effect from the sepia. Ever thought about entering a golden demon contest? Thought about it and realized I'm not at that level. I'm good enough to definitely like commission from, and I would put my skill level at good enough that I'm well above average. I think from like the miniature painting side of things, I would argue I'm above average for like the community, but is above average enough to enter a golden demon? Nah, I don't think so. Like a lot of those painters, those guys not only have better tools than I do, like they have airbrushes and they have oh really, that's like this is a really big thing right there, airbrushes. But a lot of them have a lot more experience. A lot of people go to Golden Demons. They've won like local awards and stuff. The closest to a local award I won is I won best painted army for my orcs a while back, and that got me a discount at the shop I worked at. Not that I worked at, sorry. That I played at. And that resulted in me getting a couple of miniatures and stuff. Like I've never entered an official painting competition before, and I don't think I'm at that level where like at a local one I think I'd take the cake for sure. But at Golden Demon, with all those other people that send in entries with the level that they've practiced and trained and from across the community, I don't even think I'd place anywhere near the victory bracket. You never know if you don't push yourself. At least that is my train of thought. I would like to enter one at some point. I mean, yeah, by all means, man. Like, I'd love to see how you do if you enter one. For me, I don't really like entering competitions that I don't feel confident that I can at least do well in. Because I kind of view it as a waste of time. It's like, if you're going to enter something that you're going to lose, why do that to yourself? Why go through the embarrassment and all that, the hard work just for the drop, you know? So if I thought I had a chance of doing well, even just placing in the top 20, then, I'd definitely go and I'd definitely participate. But I don't think I'd do that high. I might be in the top 100 at best. That's just me. I'm not saying I'm right to have that kind of logic. For a lot of people, that's kind of defeatist. I don't really see it as defeatist. It's just practical. If I thought I had a chance to win, I'd absolutely do it. But I just don't think I'm at that level. But again, that's me. And I might change my mind one day. I might enter just to try it out and see how I do. But yeah, like I said, it's just at the level I'm at. I'm above average. I'm good enough that I'm confident doing commissions and doing work for people and making, hopefully high quality miniatures. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, so let me let that dry. Trying to figure out how best I want to set this down. Alright, while that one dries, I'll apply the sepia tone to the rest of this one. But, yeah, one day I'll probably do it. Just not yet. Gotta get to a level where I'm like, yeah, I got this. No. But in other news, has anyone here, because I talked about it in my previous painting stream, and I even showed like a clip from the audiobook. But has anyone here read The End in the Death? The last book of the Horus Heresy series? Or I have not. I've just absorbed some of it from osmosis. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think a lot of people are doing that right now. I've actually read it, and I even have it on audiobook. Oh boy. It's rough. It's rough. I don't know if there's a better way to put it. Rough. Just got a book where the custodians are the main characters, but I think that is not related to the Horus Heresy. Probably not, if it's the book I'm thinking of. There are books, you know, during the Horus Heresy that do have a custodians focus, but not many. I listened to an audio drama for the Harlequins and recently listened to Brutal Cunning, which was not bad in my opinion. Brutal Cunning? Yes, I actually like that. I like Brutal Cunning. I don't know as if audio drama for the Harlequins. Which one is that? Do you know the name or? Because I might know that one. Well, if it's an audio drama, maybe not. I'm thinking of a novel about the Harlequins, but it's like a short story. Probably not the same thing as what you're referencing. Heirs of the Laughing God, a Deadly Wit. Yep, not the one I was thinking of. But still good. By the way, Havoc, I saw you on the Discord. You want to make a confession before the Inquisition about a certain proclivity to the Xenos skin ship? Wanna sign away your sins? You know what I'm saying? Asserted humanity's dominance over the frail, pathetic Xenos. See, that is Actually, the thing is, I hope that becomes like a community comic at some point. But that is such a funny visual, isn't it? It's like a commissar is like interrogating, interrogating a guardsman for laying with, let's say, an Eldar. He's like, "Do you have anything to say before I deal out the rightful punishment?" "Oh yes, sir. I just want to say, I've done nothing wrong." "Excuse me, soldier. I've done nothing wrong, sir." "You lay with a filthy Xeno." "Yes, sir. I established and reinstigated humanity's dominance over the filthy flesh of a Xeno." "Wait, what?" "Yes, I did as I was bid. I served humanity, and I show we are the best." Now hold on a minute. And there's like one commissar looks to another. I think he hold on. He's got a point. Hey, Caboose. Hunk the grilly man sympathizer. I don't know as if Havoc likes Gilliman. He just likes to fuck Xenos. Slightly different. Very, very close in relation. Too close for comfort, but not quite the same thing. Alright, so let's let that dry as well. So yeah, once these dry, I'm actually really, now that it's like taking in a little bit, it's like one, itty bitty. Oh, it's just some of the tips here didn't quite take with the color too well. There we go. Alright. Now once that dries, I will then do there's little like leather straps all over it too. All I see is heresy. Indeed. Asmogan, have you watched the Space King animation? Yes, I did. And after I watched it, I realized I should have done a recording of my reaction to it. Missed opportunity. And it's not like I can record my second reaction to it. I don't think anyone would watch that. It's like I'd make the video reaction to Space King episode 1, and then I'd like say I'd have to preface it by saying, "Hey folks, this is actually my second viewing of this." And as soon as I said that, almost everybody who clicked on it to watch would leave a dislike and unwatch and click off the video. Because no one wants to. Everyone who watches a reaction video, right? They want to see the fresh the fresh reaction, the first reaction. Watching it something a second time and then giving your thoughts on it, not too many people are gonna want to watch that. So missed opportunity. Yeah, missed opportunity. But I would say you can watch it on a stream and make a short or something like that. It is awesome. I mean, it could, but again, it just comes down to, are people gonna want to watch a video of someone who's pre-watched it and they're just like giving their secondary thoughts? But it was awesome. I agree. I have also seen the. I'm on the Patreon for Flash Gets, so I've also seen the uncensored version, and I actually I watch partied that with some of the community, including Caboose is in the chat, and we all came to a similar conclusion. The superior version was the censored one, believe it or not. I don't mean to say that to dissuade people from supporting Space King on Patreon. Absolutely do that. Absolutely do that. But personally, I thought it was funnier for the censored version because it left some stuff to the imagination, whereas the uncensored version showcases everything. So because it showcases it, it's a little less funny and more horny, I'd say. So yeah, I'd say generally speaking, censored version's funnier. If you're looking to just get titillated, then watch the uncensored version. They're both funny. They're both entertaining as hell. But I would say the superior version as a comedy was the censored version. That is me. We got the better version on YouTube. But again, I don't say that to dissuade anybody from supporting Flash Gets in this project on Patreon. And if anything, I encourage you guys to support over there. Or you may be, because worst case scenario, you get a second version of the same thing. That's very entertaining in its own right. But it's just, again, the censored version was funnier. That's all. And it was very entertaining. It was very, very entertaining. I can't remember what I wanted to do to this head. It was something I wanted to do, but it's starting to escape me. Wait, no. I think I remember part of what I wanted to do to it. Uh-oh. I think the cap's sealed. There we go. Caboose says, I mean, who doesn't getting on over of those Xenos? Caboose, are you drunk? Have you been into the liquor? Better not have been into the liquor. Your ass is grassy. You've been into that liquor. I do not like Gilliman. I just do not think that elf waifus, sorry, tongue tied, are in opposition to the Emperor's will for human supremacy. It depends on the said waifu, I suppose. If the waifu is a farseer, I have to disagree. If the waifu is a bog standard banshee, you're probably right. I agree, sense of version is funny. Alright, read that. Chestnut. It's funny because he has nuts on his chest. I mean, like, I think like half the enjoyment of the episode is just the obvious jokes that kind of go over your head because you're just not thinking about it in the second, and then like you think about it after it's already been introduced, and you're like, oh, now I get it. Yeah, Chestnut was funny. I'm still convinced there's a joke there with Bryce, like the name of one of the other space defenders. His name was Bryce. I'm trying to think like what the joke is there, other than just like the funniness of it being such like a normal name, like Bryce. Like other than that, I'm convinced there's something more to it. Like why his name is Bryce? That's gotta. I'm convinced in my head it's a reference to something. Apparently, the FlashGit guys made a very big effort to inform GW that the animation is not related to Warhammer, just in case. Good, because given that it's GW, you kind of have to smack them in the face with it. It's like, this isn't your fucking property, you bitch. I don't know why I went with that accent. That accent was not appropriate for that, but whatever. He just hates aliens. Oh man, we're fucking like filling in with the references here. Alright, hate monger's gay. I'm not gay, I just hate aliens. Right. I can't wait for episode 2. I'm glad they already announced that it's in the works. The worst part is the waiting, though. The worst part is the waiting. Did all of you guys get like the little dig that they did at Hell of a Boss? Well, not just Hell of a Boss, but Has Been Hotel. They did a little bit of a dig at Hell of a Boss at the end there. Did everybody else catch that, or is that like just something I saw? So long as Xenos is the bottom, humanity's dominance is maintained, and the filthy Xenos is in the rightful place. Clearly, the Xeno hybris told me it's okay. That dig was great. It was actually unexpected. I didn't think or know that Flash gets. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think that dig is, like, implicit of, like, them hating, like, Vivzy Pop or hating that whole situation. But I will go so far as to read into it this far. Feel free to tell me if I'm about to put on a tinfoil hat, right? But I think the Flash Kids team see what I see with the whole Vivzy Pop thing and aren't, like, because they made such an emphasis about it, right? Vivzy Pop sold her soul and her show and her IP, despite having the full breadth of the internet's support for her fan animation. Like there was a shit ton of people on Vivzibop's Patreon immediately after the pilot for not Hell of a Boss, Has Been Hotel was released. So many people flocked to that stuff. And then fast forward like 6 months to a year, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, by the way, we're signing on with like Amazon." Or at the time it was already made clear she was trying to get the show picked up by a syndicated like program. She was trying to get it picked up by anybody who would take it. And to this day, and to this very day, I'm just confuddled by that. What was the motivation? Like, why was she so determined to sell off her own IP, to which she had full control over, and sell it to the highest bidder? I think it's because she's convinced herself her project isn't valid unless it's got a logo from a big publishing company on it. Like, if it doesn't have Amazon or Netflix or whatever other publisher you can think of, if it doesn't have that logo on it, then the project isn't legitimate. Like, I think Vivzipop has a very old school like vision in her head of what a valid or genuine project looks like. And it's kind of, and not that it's genuinely disappointing that that's her mindset. Like she had lightning in a bottle, and by all accounts, it's still lightning in a bottle. Like, as much as like people like me and quite a few of you here in the chat probably, as much as we look at that shit and we're like, fuck Hell of a Boss, fuck Has Been Hotel because of what Vivzi's choosing to let happen with it. You know, all of us look at that with disdain and aren't very happy with the end product. The numbers speak for themselves. The Amazon's like highest grossing like viewership in like the past 6 months has been entirely from Has Been Hotel. Like, they blew up with that show. That show, I think it did better than Vox Machina did, which is saying a lot. That shit did very, very well for Amazon. Their investment into it paid the fuck off. But that's kind of part of what's disappointing about the whole thing is, like, it worked out for them, but in my personal opinion, I don't think it worked out in the long run for Vivzipop or for her stuff. She sold her soul for clout and for, like, business or, what do you call it? Industry clout. You know, she wanted to be recognized within the official recognized industry for animation and stuff, and for like movies and stuff. She wasn't satisfied with it just being a major YouTube show that she was personally getting support for. But again, it's all very tragic in my opinion. That's the route she's chosen, because it could have been way better for her. There's also some other like stuff behind the scenes that I've heard about Vivzipop that doesn't impress me, but that's neither here nor there. Nostalgia Vivek. Welcome. Animation really struggles on YouTube because of the irregularity of the content. That's for like, I would say there's an argument against what you just said. Because I have a very quick counter response. Carbot animations. I'm sure almost everybody here probably has heard of Carbot. They're able to release animations very, very quickly. Like, shockingly quickly. Especially, now granted, they're like the most simplistic animation style, but that just showcases you don't need to make the most artistically sound or crazy animation series to be successful on YouTube. Additionally, within VivziePop's own umbrella of stuff, I would then point to Hell of a Boss. Hell of a Boss has been free on YouTube and done extremely fucking well. Thank you, Caboose, for the $20, man. Thank you for the generosity. Thank you. I much appreciate that. Xenobomb denied. Actually, I don't think it was Xenobomb. Wasn't it Genobomb? Like for genocide? Pretty sure that was it. Also night. Oh, you heading out? Okay, bye, man. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the super generous $20, man. I appreciate it. Dial C4, welcome to the stream. I'm here for monkeys. Listen, I'm not Radham, okay? You want to go hang out with Radham? I think he's on Twitch. But yeah, like like again, just using VivziePop's own umbrella of stuff, Hell of a Boss is free on YouTube for every episode. And it's got like what, 10 million a pop per episode, if not more. It's done extremely well, and they released almost two whole seasons of it now, and it's done extremely well. It's got a lot of success behind it, so I don't agree with that notion that animations don't do well on YouTube due to irregularity. It's not really the case. I will agree that the algorithm isn't super generous about irregular uploads, but when there's sheer volume of support for something, it doesn't matter. People will flood to it regardless of if the algorithm's pushing it or not. And then from word to mouth, it'll spread even further. And after all, everyone has YouTube. Everyone has a YouTube app on their phone. Everyone has YouTube bookmarked and probably tabbed on any of their browsers and other devices. It's way easier for people to jump on that. There's no paywall. So when a friend says, hey man, there's a new episode of Hell of a Boss. Hey man, there's a new Carbide animation. Hey man, there's this, and this, and this, and this. You just, immediately the person has no blockage at all other than just the raw effort of opening their phone or opening their another tab on their monitor and being like, bam, check it out. Meanwhile, if something gets put behind something like Amazon or put behind Netflix, there's a paywall now. There's now an immediate like, I want to see this, but what if I don't have a subscription to Netflix? What if I don't have a subscription to Amazon Prime? What if I don't, support any of this stuff? Now I can't watch it. Now I can't view it. Now I can't support it, or at the very least view it for my own interest. So I would say for raw, just viewership and support, there's no better place than YouTube, even for the irregularity of animations being uploaded. So I would only agree, Vivek, or Nostalgia Vivek, with that animation really struggles on YouTube if the irregularity we're talking about is like 2 years per episode. Like every episode is 2 years apart. Like if we're talking extreme project gaps like that, then yeah, of course. But that's not even just because of the YouTube algorithm. That's also because of people's interest. Most people's interest isn't held, even for something they really, really love, for more than 6 months to 7 months of them like keeping track of it and thinking about it in their head and waiting for the project to come out. People's interest fades with time, especially if there's no news and no new stuff to view and to get their interest held. So that's not even just the algorithm. But even with that, there's exceptions. Sayama Peterson's Astartes series, for example. Like, what, there were 5 episodes, 6 episodes total of the miniseries? Or the animation in itself? And they were released like a year to 2 years apart. But despite that, each part got millions and millions of views. People love the hell out of that. So even with that kind of example, there's exceptions that showcase that that's not a rule at all. Animations, I would argue, do better on YouTube than most other content does. Especially when they're independent projects. Dazzy4 says, aren't all of oversimplified videos animated? Wait, the channel oversimplified, or are you talking about like simplistic videos in general? The channel. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think so. If it's the channel I'm thinking of, yeah. Well, first of all, it wasn't $1,500. It was what, $20,000? Pretty sure it was 20K. Wasn't it? Hold on. What was that guy's name? Fuck. Shit. What was that? What was that weirdo's name? The one who commissioned that animated music video of Charlie chasing him and sexually assaulting him. Just saying it out loud just feels even weirder. We live in a weird... We live in a fucked world, but a very, very weird world. I don't remember. I don't remember his name, but I'm pretty sure it was like 20K, wasn't it? $50K. Oh, was it? Oh, fuck! It was worse. Shit. Oh, hi, little did I know, I was lowballing it. Fuck. Hey, Lady Runesong, Nathan X2000, welcome to the stream, you beautiful people. How you doing? Shaking up my Zendra dust. Yeah, I got the wings. They're doing mostly good. I'd like to think. See if I can get them in focus here. Yeah, I think it's on camera they look like a little bit whiter than they do in front of me. Like in front of me, they're a lot more of a golden sheen. We shall see now, shan't we? He's sleeping. I'm just stealing a laptop. Oh, wait, no. Hey, did you just do his fucking laptop? That's hilarious. Verbal Ace. Oh, that was the name. 50 fucking K. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Listen, I, as a man, I understand that sometimes your dick leads you in weird places, right? It can drag your ass into the darkest fucking hole and you weren't expecting it. But there's just some times where even other guys are like, no, I don't get it. Like, that's one of them. I'm sorry, but if there's something that'll get, you know, my dick, which is already leading me into stupid places, to immediately, like, lose its luster and my brain, my actual brain, takes back over and I go, wait, what the fuck? It's most certainly when the dollar sign goes above 10K. Actually, when it goes above like $100, like I'm immediately like, excuse me? Like, finances, man. Finances are the thing that'll immediately wake your ass up and turn your dick down. Okay? That'll immediately switch your operating procedure. Okay? That'll click your ass back into gear. Immediately. I don't care how hot the chick is. I don't care what she's asking for. I don't care about the justifications. None of it. When the dollar sign goes above triple digits, that is when the man downstairs loses control and the one upstairs regains control. Immediately. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm a money-grubbing dickhead. But fuck me. Hell no. 50 goddamn K. I think it's not even for like an actual woman, right? It was for a softcore porn music video. He could have paid a real woman dressed as try. Exactly. Like, there's got to be like a goth, like pale-looking prostitute around where he lives somewhere. I'm sure if he went around enough corners, just like be like, "Yo, I got an outfit I want you to wear, and I'll pay you 50K." And shit, that's probably what she makes all night. She'd be like, "Alright, I'll do it. Fuck it." Good sweet. Hell, for 25K. What pro? Like, oh, I'm not like a pimp or anything. I don't know how this industry works, but I'd imagine, right? Even 10K from a single night of work, shall we call it? You gotta be like, flipping the bills, 10K would probably get her in the car with the outfit and doing stuff. You could save the other fucking 40K, I'll never, no, I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I can get your dick leading you to stupid places, not when the dollar sign is that high. Nope. That is where I would draw the goddamn line. No hoe is worth 50K. Especially not an animated fake one that dominates and chases you. Like, some people's fetishes, man. Goddamn. There's a lot of like the culture on the internet, right, of not shaming people for their fetishes. I'm sorry, but if there's a time where you fucking earned it, it's there. It's there. Like when you spend 50K on this shit, you deserve to be mocked. You deserve to be belittled. 100%. Like there's room to not kink shame up to a point, and that's the goddamn point. Not to tell people what to do with their own money, but think of the charities. I almost said Charlie's of the charities that could have used that instead. Oh yeah. Thing is, I'm not even gonna like moralize that far, but I agree. Like, there's so many like better places for that 50K if you're not gonna use it for, what he was supposed to, which was a music video. But there's so many other places it could have and should have gone, and it didn't. Which makes it even more of kind of an embarrassment, really. Also, didn't he make a response video? Verbalaze guy? I think I saw like a clip of it, and somebody said he sounded like he was nuts. Granted, you'd have to be a little crazy to be like, hey, I got 50K. What am I going to spend it on? Animated pussy. Wait, I can't say that on YouTube, can I? Fuck, I'm going to be demonetized. YouTube, it's an anatomy word. It's not the scientific word, but it's the anatomy word. Hey, you guys! A pussycat, of course. Exactly, exactly. YouTube, we're talking about the felines. I swear. Oh, this conversation took a turn, but a fun turn. Pimp Asmo confirmed. Yep, I don't have my fuzz hat out, but you know I'm walking these streets with my hose. Actually, that reminds me, like, this is a weird tangent, but hear me out. I was talking to a friend of mine, like, 6 months ago, and we were talking about, like, the conversation went nuts. I know, crazy. But it started off talking about taxes, and then somehow we got on the topic of pimping. Don't ask me how. I have no fucking, I don't recall how it flowed. But we got on that topic, and he went, you know what's crazy? You know, like pimping is such a weird profession, and but what weirds me out most is that there's no female equivalent. I stood there and stared at him for like 5 minutes. He went, "What?" I'm like, dude, haven't you ever heard of a madam? A what? A madam. A female pimp. Wait, those exist? She's like, yes, they do. You're a moron. There are female pimps. There are female pimps called madams that pimp out dudes. And also to pimp out other women. A matron, and yes. No, like we call them here in like the Northeast, they're called madams. Which granted results in a lot of confusing like police reports. But yeah, like they're called madams. Not just like probably where you're from they're matrons, but up here up north, like Northeast United States, they're referred to as madams. Delarice and Harlem Nights. Who? Gonna address you as a pimp on the podcast. Do it. Do it. Is that the called the Halloween one? I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's do it. Get my pimp on. I said, y'all gonna hear my pimp. Stuff and things. Welcome back. Suddenly, the Spider-Man movie, Madam Web, makes so much sense. Fuck. I'm impressed by that, but good job. I'm impressed. Well done. I did not think to draw that conclusion, but damn. Well done. Fuck. Damn, that was actually good. Fuck you struck me with comedy. Good God. These conversations. Lady Runesong says, especially since there are way better animators out there who could do so much more with that much money. I've seen student films 10 times better. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna judge the animation quality. Like, honestly, that is like nothing compared to like just. I'm sorry, but for 50K, I don't give a damn about it. Like, again, nothing could make that better. Right? Like, let's say the animation quality was, like, the best ever, right? If anything, it would just make it more disturbing. It's like, this motherfucker spent 50 goddamn K on this shit. Like, sorry, what do you do with that? It's just freaky. It's just freaky. Some people need to get a life, and Verbal Ace is one of them. It's like, sweet lord, like I'll never, I don't think I'm able to like forget this shit. I could have used 50K, those 50K. Damn, yeah, you could have like moved in with Nathan, right? 50K, that'd help you do it, right? I'd say so. If you want, I'll set up a GoFundMe for you. GoFundMe for you, which is a weird sentence. Hey, let's do it. I don't think it'll work because I can't get my own viewership to give me that much money. But who knows? We can try. I mean, I've had worse ideas. What color should I paint the horn? Or that part? Yeah, the horn. Should I do a black? With like a light dry brush of like a gray? Don't you dare. The idea has been placed. Deep purple with a bit of red. Really? What would that look like? Let's use my nail as a reference here. Holy shit. Pierce, you don't even mini paint yet. What the well, you're an artist, I guess. You know what? Fuck you. For being damn good at this, that I didn't even think of it. But I do paint. True. You don't mini paint, yo. Scary. I think the scary part is how fast you like responded with that. You were like, "Do this." What should I do, guys? Do this. Okay. Does it? Works. Fuck. Set that down to dry. Progress is being made. Intuition, though occasionally wrong. I mean, fuck. Wasn't wrong this time. Tell you that fucking much. It works. Like it blends perfectly. It's like a maroon. Right, so I'm gonna do another dry brush of white on this, just a little bit. Actually, do I want to do another one, or do I think it's fine like that? Now I'll do a little bit of a dry brush of white, because the gold I mostly want is in the places it needs to be, but the white needs to kind of shine through a little bit more. So, where is my dry palette? There's my dry pellet.
Give me my dry pellet.
Now listen, you. We're not going to have an explosion. Am I clear? We're going to have a nice, gentle squeeze out of your liquids from your insides. And we're going to get no protest. Am I understood? I'm looking at your dropper bottle. Do not betray. Alright, so let's do a little bit of Dabaruni. Alright. Just need a little bit more white shining through. Regain some of the whiteness while still having some of the dirtying stain effects to add for depth. Boom. The wings are making me want to find and paint Sanguinius. Not sure if I should wait for more Primarch model updates and hope he's one of them, though. Like, eventually want one of each, even if I don't get their armies. I'll tell you this, that's one hell of an undertaking. But it's more doable now, ironically, now that Forge World has been liquidated. Or is going under, whichever term you want to use. Because originally, each Forge World model for a Primarch is like 150, 160 bucks. At the time I looked at it, and after inflation, it probably went way up. But at like 3 or 4 years ago, I looked at each of them, and they were each like over $100 and something dollars back when they were in Forge World. Now, I think they dropped down the cost to like $70 a pop. I might be talking out of my ass, Mom. Pretty sure it dropped significantly once they moved all of the models to the official store for GW. Let's check. Like, eventually want to... Yeah. Whoa. Face emoji. Yeah, they were super expensive a while back. Now... Let me see. Just randomly, let's go to Imperial Fists. No. Well, they're still cheaper than they used to be, but that's not by much. For example, Rogel Dorn's model, again, we're looking at 30k. Most of the Primarchs don't have a 40k model. So, 30k. He has his model is $148. So, not as much of savings as it was, but again, it's still, that's sadly still cheaper than it was on Forge World. Like, that's still depressing, but it's the truth. Like, that's still cheaper than when they were on Forge World. They were like 150, 160 a pop on Forge World. Granted, it's not much in savings, but the fact that it's a little less after inflation, that's still better than it was. This is the hobby we're talking about, folks. That's considered savings. It's $148 as opposed to 150, 160. What savings? Oh my god. All right. And just picking another one at random just in case his was super expensive. Let's go Iron Warriors. Perturabo is 140. So you save another $8. Woo. Wait, why is this $8 cheaper than Imperial Fists? Probably because it's less popular, because Iron Warriors are, you know. Thanks for checking. No problem. So I do it real quick because might as well. I thought about it. Say why. That's why I thought about it. Yeah. But yeah, they're all around 100, anywhere between 140 and 150 right now on GW's official store. You'll probably find it cheaper on eBay and like secondary market, but that's like for most things. I guess it's not particularly special. So kind of did that wing. Alright, now to finish doing the dry brushing on this one. There we go. I think Horus Ascended is cheaper now than when I bought him. Really? When'd you buy it? Wait, did you buy it from Forge World back in the day? Or are we talking like you bought him at the beginning of the new Horus Heresy 2.0 and now like recently they dropped his price? Like which like gap of time are we talking about here? Our little specks are flying everywhere. There we go. All right, we're good. Whoa, Jesus. I'm knocking everything over. Sweet Lord. You bought him when you went to Nova last year. Ah, okay. It's only a year ago. Well, nice. Yeah, I'd expect him to be more expensive, not cheaper. But that's interesting. Yeah, for anyone else who joined midstream, by the way, this is the base that I got for not mine, but for the Commission Sanguinius. I looked into a model for Vulcan Primarch. The Salamander is the cheapest I found was somebody's custom model on Colts 3D. I mean, yeah, but like if we start including STLs, then the price is free. Because quite a few STL makers make theirs free, or you can like find re-downloads of them. You know, there's plenty of that stuff online for ultra cheap. I mean, I got a Rogel Dorn STL that's like only cost me $5, and would have only cost me $3 to print. Tops. All right. Slate. Nah. No need. I will, however, do one of these. And there we go. Boom. You haven't opened them yet? Want to know that shape that... Wait, you don't want to know the shape the resin is in? Well, dude, you gotta open it eventually. And you gotta have to. You bought him. The heck? Dude. You gotta open it sometime. Come on, man. The 40k Primarchs are GW and not Forge World? The 40k Primarchs are GW and not Forge World. I would like to pay them. What? Well, they are now. Well, they're both. But the thing is, a lot of people don't seem to understand this. GW have unofficially / officially owned Forge World for a long time as like a subsidiary. They have since shortly after Forge World became a thing, but they never like fully like merged with them. They just kind of owned them partially, and then at some point recently, Forge World has been liquidated or taken down, if you will, by GW. And a lot of their stuff is now no longer available, like, period. What of it that is now available on the GW store, like the Primarch models. Like, those were super popular in sales and stuff, so GW are continuing to produce them. That's my understanding of the situation. It might not be that simple, but, yeah. Forge World, more or less, was a subsidiary of GW for a long time. It was originally created by fans, but, you know, as time goes on and as they were a business, things happen. When do you think we'll see plastic Fulgrim? We're very much due for a Fulgrim model very, very soon. I think GW in general are kind of avoiding Slanesh stuff. Because of obvious reasons. Kind of hard to sell your IP when your most recent updates include the horny faction. You know, the not kid-friendly, not family-friendly faction. Not that Khorne is particularly family-friendly, but considering most companies think death and murder is far more easily marketable. Yeah, it's a bit of a odd toss, so to speak. So I do think we'll see him eventually. It's total shot in the dark of when. Might be soon, might be a couple years from now. I'm not sure. We're due for him though. So if I had to like take a shot in the dark, total shot in the dark of where they win It'd probably be after they announce the next Loyalist Primarch, because I think they're trying to even out the odds, if you will, on both sides. Because on Chaos, we have Magnus Mortarion, and Angron. We have them three. And on the Loyalist side, we only have two Primarchs. We have Gilliman, and we have the Lion. We have the two of them. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to unveil a third Loyalist Primarch. And then they're going to release Fulgrim. So whenever the hell point A happens for point B, that'll be around the time that we get the announcement. I don't think we're going to get the announcement of a new Loyalist Primarch and also Fulgrim. I think that GW would save that for a later announcement. So it won't happen immediately after, but it'll happen tangentially around when we get the next Loyalist Primarch. It will be when we get the Emperor's Children Codex. I'm glad you're optimistic. Thing is, I don't even know if we're gonna get Fulgrim for 10th edition. I don't think that. I don't know as if I'd even say that's happening. I'd say wait for 11th edition probably, or late 10th edition for a Fulgrim announcement. I just don't see them doing it anytime soon. There's too many other things I think they're gonna prioritize. Okay, so let's get some more Fang Brown in there. Who would you think is the next Loyalist Primarch? Jagatai? Vulcan? Supposedly Corvus has already made an appearance in a novel. I can't confirm that last one, but out of... I can tell you who I want there to be next revealed, but that's probably not going to happen. Will likely be the next one they choose. Probably Vulcan, to be honest. Mainly because of the, again, like, we're going for meta reasons. I think GW are trying to sell themselves to another company. So, who's the most family-friendly choice? Vulcan. Without a shot. Yeah, he murdered an Eldar child. That's like the most... It's great, granted, very, very evil, but compare that to the repertoire, if you will, of any of the other options. And also the reputation that the Salamanders have as a whole is very much the family-friendly chapter. So, yeah, that's what I see happening, is probably Vulcan. For, again, those meta reasons. Do I want them to do Vulcan next? Fuck no. But are they going to do Vulcan next? Probably. Who knows, though? Maybe I'm giving GW too little credit in that department, and maybe they'll do, maybe they'll do... Khan, probably? I think the Khan would be a good choice. You know, have him escape Kamarog, or have there be some kind of, like, trade-off. I'd prefer it if he escaped Kamarog. As it is, he's been there way too long. God knows what he's like now after years and years being trapped in that fucking place. Not good would be, like, the simplistic descriptor of how he's doing, probably. I think it would be the con. But again, are you thinking from a preference point of view, or are you thinking actually like logically? Like again, I'm thinking very meta logically. What would GW do and move towards for their interests? You know, from a meta perspective, what is GW most motivated by? Money. What gives them the most money? Selling the IP and selling the company, which we already know that they approached Hasbro about. So what helps them sell their IP, which is incredibly unfamily friendly, to a bunch of other toy companies that really, really want something that they can market towards kids, or at the very least teenagers. Something family friendly. Out of the Primarchs that could help them do that, is Khan really a better choice than Vulcan? No. No, he is not. Now, I agree the Khan makes more sense lore-wise, also makes more sense universe-wise, but this is GW we're talking about. The people who wrote in Erda, the people who recently wrote in that the Emperor killed Horus with a shiv. I don't think they're gonna choose the thing that has anything to do with what makes most sense and appropriateness for the universe. I think that ship has long since passed in terms of their caring. They're probably gonna go Vulcan. Handberg, welcome to stream. I want the Fulgrim clone to have a redemption arc. Well, that kind of opens up a kind of a quandary question, I suppose. Would it be a redemption arc when he doesn't have anything to redeem? Because if you think about it, the clone is a clone, right? He didn't do anything. You know? Like, Rylanor isn't on him. The betrayal at Isfan is not on him. The murder of Ferris is not on him. Technically. Because none of that shit was him. That was all his other counterpart. His original. Again, that's getting very technical. And that is the kind of thing I would, you know, if it were me, right? And I was the clone of myself, and myself did these horrible things, but I myself have no proclivity to those things and didn't do them, you know? Would therefore I have to redeem myself for those actions? I would argue no. Would I have to, in the eyes of others, would I have to? Probably. Absolutely, in fact. So in that sense, there's definitely still be a redemption arc. But again, I'm being very, like, autistic about this. But that comes from being autistic. So anyway, that'd be like my asshole-ish kind of like, well, actually, that'd be me. Can Henry Cavill just buy the company? Well, let's, before you call for that, let's see how he does on the show or the movie, whatever he's working on right now. Let's see how he does on that before we start calling for him to buy out Games Workshop. If he does as well as I'm hoping he will do, fuck yeah, let's put up a not a commission, but a petition. That's the word. I'm looking for the word. That's the word. I don't envy Henry Cavill's position right now. Anything is better than Hasbro. True. If Hasbro buys GW out, we're fucked. Well and truly fucked. Because at that point, Warhammer Adventures is just going to be the series. GW has been desperate to get Hasbro-kun's attention. Yes, they have. But generally, it just kind of feels like they're trying to get bought out by anybody. The only confirmation of, like, a pass at that stuff that we have is Hasbro. Like, that's pretty much all we have for, like, a confirmation. Everything else is just circumstantial. Well, not circumstantial. That's not the word I'm looking for. Is speculation. Speculative. I hope to God they don't want to get bought out by Amazon, because even Hasbro makes more sense than fucking Amazon. At least Hasbro's a toy company, right? Amazon buys them out, we're truly fucked. And we're fucked with Hasbro and we're fucked with Amazon, so I guess in either case we're fucked. Hey, Tiamat D-Lord, welcome to the stream. Hasbro doesn't have the funds right now. I'd hope not. I hope they never have the funds to do it. They're using methods and better separate. They're using methods and better separate because they are copying Wizards of the Coast strategy. Look at the 6-month core rulebook, aka formats that Magic the Gathering. I don't know anything about that shit, so I trust you, sir. Like, I don't know. That is not my wheelhouse. Like, Magic the Gathering is not my wheelhouse. I know jack shit about it. I know it exists, and I know it's super popular. And I know that I looked in the rules one time, and I immediately lost interest. I was like, oh, maybe this is a cool card game like Yu-Gi-Oh! Then I like read into it, and I'm like, this is even more bullshit than Yu-Gi-Oh! Apologies to any Magic the Gathering fans who may watch me, but yeah, your card game is fucking confusing. I both want and don't want Dorn to return. On one. He's awesome, and him confronting Girly Man would be satisfying, assuming the modern writers would even handle that remotely correctly. He's awesome, and him confronting Girly Man would be satisfying. On the other, GW would screw it up big time in some way. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. First of all, I don't even think they'd make him confront Gilliman. They'd have him, like, show up and be like, Gilliman, you were right. You were right. And some other shit. Like, they would totally mishandle the fuck out of that. Two. I'm so torn to best Primarch. For Dorn? Yeah, absolutely. Dorn is best Primarch. Stern, stiff upper lip, hardy man with a heart of gold on the inside. By all accounts, for the universe he's in, anyway. I truly believe Hasbro only wants the IPs and it is not interested at all on the whole tabletop gaming aspect of Magic: The Gathering or D&D. Well, inherently you have to be if you want the IPs, because the IPs are operated and run under those things, and that's where they get the majority of their profits. And Hasbro is a gaming company. It makes no sense for them to want to go after a game and then just own the IPs, but have no interest in the tabletop or how the cards are played or anything, when that is directly related to how much money they make. And that's just silly. That's like buying a vanity car. Pretty much. It's just like, oh, I bought this thing. Why? Are you going to do anything with it? No. I hope it just generates money sitting there. Okay. Good luck with that. Now, if they wanted the IPs to sell them to somebody else, that could make sense. You know, buy it for cheap, or as cheap as they can, and then sell it for a profit. That's just basic marketing. Or that's just basic economics, really. I disagree. Hasbro is a toy company, not a gaming one. Okay. I'm not gonna touch that. Sometimes when you don't got nothing nice to say, you move on. It's one of those things. There's one more strap on this side. Come to a papa. Just one. Boom. There we go. I don't think corporate culture understands the companies they acquire. Wait, what? I would say in most cases I'd agree with that. Yeah. It's kind of like the sad state of current companies that they're buying shit that they don't understand, which feels silly. But then again, I think most of the corporate bullshit is silly. Set that aside and get all the straps on this one. This one has more straps too. Real life games of Magic are currently better and more fair than Yu-Gi-Oh! I would agree with that, especially if we're talking about Master Duel. Master Duel has fucked that game up royally. Like some of the cards that are banned in like the real game and shit are usable in Master Duel tournaments and Master Duel events. Like Max C should not be such a easily used card. As it is, hand traps in general are bullshit, but that's me. Straps and straps and straps. Indeed. There are many straps. Which is kind of what the uniqueness of this model, I gotta say. It's probably the point of these wings. Is to stand out from the original, that is. What's something I can add to the wings design that will like look very, very different from the original Sanguinius model? I don't know, add some straps to it? Exactly. Thank you, Frederica. Or Bob. Or Gerald. Or Cassie. I don't know. Forgot her name. So they did their fire design to excel sales when then make premium products. They did it in 2.5 years. Are you guys still going on about that? Corporate culture in regards to video games is also pretty bad. I feel like I'm crushing my tailbone. Ow! I think I might need a new desk chair because this one's like butt cushioning is getting worse. It's partly my fault. I am a fat ass, but still. It's causing me pain. Thine posterior requires cushioning. Indeed it does. Like a pillow. Like a very, very big pillow, too. Hey, Matthew Gordon, how you doing? Oh, hello. Sorry, I was killing bugs. No, that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. I'm gonna say this right now. This title of the stream might have become a lie because I'm starting to get a little blurry-eyed. Hopefully, I can at least get the straps done. Let me get the straps done. Don't take my consciousness away. Yeah, this wing has a ton of them. Wow, Jesus. Looking nice. Glad to hear it. And making progress on the wings. Also got the big man himself. His chest piece right there. Matthew Gordon, since you're here. For the spear. Do you want this to be metallic? Or do you want this to be straps? In terms of like the handholds. Also, do you want this to be glowing or metallic? Excuse me. Random question. On a birdman like Sanguinius, Angel, what weapon would you think would be most practical, and then which is aesthetically the coolest? Most practical. Probably a sword. For like practicality. Because swords, like you can sheath them, so if you're going for like speedy flight, you can sheath it and focus on your flying. And then when it comes to like entering combat, it's a blade, so it's already meant to be aerodynamic, moving through like the wind and cutting through. Seems like a boring answer, but I'd say a sword. As for what looks the coolest, probably a spear. I don't think it's as practical as using a sword, because they're first of all, spears are bigger and two-handed, so sheathing it doesn't exactly work the same. Additionally, they're clunkier when moving around. It requires both hands, requires you to shift your weight around on the ground, whereas on the flying, well, you got your wings. But they're long and pointy, so when you're flying, when you're trying to move it around and do like motions with it, you have to make sure not to hit your wings, and your wings have to go in front of you, kind of close in front of you to like push the air out to keep you elevated. So you kind of have to hold it like this every time your wings retract in. So because so you can't hold it like traditionally, like how spears are normally, so kind of like tilted to the side, because you could slap your wing against it and accidentally pierce your wing and possibly shear off a couple feathers, if not basically de-wing yourself. Whereas with a sword, especially if it's a shorter sword, like not like a two-hander, but like a single one-handed sword, you could like lower that down to the point where your wings flapping in front of you with one hand practically. It's more of a condensed weapon, so all of that doesn't have to be worried about as much. I don't know if my line of thinking is even makes sense, but that's like my mindset. Excuse me. Is it supposed to be straps? Well, let me hold that up to the light. I can't tell. It's definitely supposed to be crenulated. So I think it's designed in a way that it can be. Yeah, it's kind of hard. But because of the crenellation, that can be interpreted as like divoted metal, or that can be interpreted as a strap. So it's designed in a way that, depending on how you paint it, defines whether it's meant to be a strap or not. It doesn't. Otherwise, I can't really say if it's supposed to be straps or not. It's just kind of a guess at that point. Not just the metal. Okay. Do you want it to be left gold, or do you want me to like switch it up and do like lead belcher, iron hands, a gunmetal? Also, with the glowing, normally like blue is like the color for like the energy weapons in for the loyalists. But did you want me to do a different color? Excuse me. Blue is good. Okay. What would work? Gold works just fine if you're fine with the most of the blade having like a single color to it. I just realized there's construction material attached. I didn't realize that was a construction material. 1 second. Something eluded my eyes. It's fine. I can easily fix that. Boom. But yeah, leaving the whole thing gold works just fine, I think. It does leave a little less dynamic color. So, if you want to leave it metallic, and we can probably do a silver just to give it like kind of a pungency to the whole thing. My suggestion would be do a silver, but that's up to you, man. If you want to do like a full gold spear with like the blue tip. Like silver, it's shiny. All right, then we'll go with the silver. Oh, by the way, Matthew, have you been checking out the podcast at all? Cool, so you'd probably be swinging pole arm like a glaive. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yep, it's awesome. I lost it a few times laughing. I'm very glad to hear it. Yeah, we have pretty good bands. I think at one point we forgot we were recording on our most recent episode. I think maybe it was just me. I don't know. I didn't ask the other two. I was like, hey, did you guys at this part forget we were recording? Because that's what it felt like to me. Oh fuck. Most practical weapon for Birdman, I'd say, is gun, but that's me and my dishonorable way of fighting. I mean, well, we're going with that. So many things like apply to that. I mean, come on, normies. I'm joking. I'm joking. Kind of. I mean, that does remind me of like the Indiana Jones thing. Like all of us are talking like melee weapons, and you're like, oh, guns. Oh, it'd be a gun. It's kind of like that moment, that scene in Indiana Jones, the Ark of the Covenant, where the guy's like swinging the sword fancy, and he's just like, ugh, pulls out a gun and shoots him. Spotted a Tau player. To be fair, most people in 40k have that idea to fight with melee versus guns or artillery. True. Like there's that old like meme with like the Kriegsman Commissar like hanging out of the tank with a fucking sword. And he's like, drive us closer to the enemy. I wish to hit them with my sword. It's like you're in a fucking tank that shoots artillery from hundreds of miles away. And you're like, let's get closer. I wish to hit them with my sword. Like, you little shithead. Vindicator tank, it's a bayonet and a gun. And a shield. Hey, we all have our workarounds, am I right? So I think I got all the straps, unless I'm mistaken. Oh, hello. Popping shit out of my hand now. Alright, so while that goes, let's paint the tip of this white. I have a plan, it may not work. Let that dry for a second.
My face is my shield.
Now, unlike the Dune universe, shields made ranged weapons pointless. Now shields aren't foolproof, it's just slowing down the bullet or weapons. So yeah, it interests as well that culture evolved to have melee be highest form of combat. Yeah. I don't know, my brain's starting to shut down, so I don't know, my brain's like, what? I don't understand what you're saying. Alright, well, I understand what you're saying. I understand what that pertains to. Are you just talking about Dune, or are you talking about something else? And I probably ought to head to bed soon. I really wish I could make the title true, but there's a lot more here. I was hoping to get done the wings, but I'm gonna see if I can push. Try and get as much done tonight as possible. Got a bit of painting done myself. Still figuring out a wet palette. Wet palettes, it takes a little getting used to. Just a little bit. Just a little. They can be quite frustrating, but once you get a hold of them, a hang of them, they're pretty good. They make it so you don't have to like manually wet each and every single thing on like a dry palette. You don't have to manually wet and thin everything because it's being thinned right there on the wet palette. There's a method to my madness. And doing personal shields made bullet pointless, but they have slow gun strikes even in melee to pierce them. Okay. Need a confused Night Lord moment. By the way, Matthew Gordon, is it okay if I leave adding the wings to the final assembly to you? Just because I do want to ship this back to you in the same box you sent it in, just for ease of packaging. But if I think I can safely do that without while still fully assembling Sanguinius, but just minus his wings. That's like the only thing I'd like to send to you. Like not assembled with everything else is the wings. I can leave that to you to glue on once it's arrived to you, just so it'll fit in the box. Because if I put the wings on as is, he's not gonna fit in the box. I'm gonna have to get a different box to fit him in. I mean, I can do that if you'd prefer that. Me to do that. I don't mind doing that for you. So just let me know your preference, and I'll find a bigger box. That's fine. I was expecting the wings to be not glued, so it'd be easier. Yeah, that's gonna be the plan. It's like the one thing I'll leave off is the wings, just because with the wingspan, if they're glued on, he won't fit in the box. I can still do like a dry fitting of them on his back though to showcase what it would look like completely and utterly finished. All right, now Agrex or shit. Because of the nature of the wings or flight, it could break. Well, it's less than I'm worried about like it breaking off. It's just it won't fit in the box if I put him like fully assembled with the wings on. Plus, that is another concern, of course, but generally it's best to leave the wings off for now. Yeah, that's like the one thing I won't assemble and everything. Everything else will be assembled and sent to Matthew Gordon together. It's just this one thing. Yeah, so just to leave the wings off, just to be safe. Gotta go, battery getting low. Alright, thank you for stopping by, Zoid. Have a good day. Especially stuff. That very expensive resin fine caster plastic. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty evident from that is from Artel Miniatures. And it's pretty evident that they use resin injection molding, but whatever process they do it through, they're definitely and very clearly doing it better than fucking Forge World ever did. I mean, the detail is actually pretty damn solid. There's next to I haven't noticed any warping outside a little bit with a spear, and that was fixed way faster than I've ever had to fix that same level of screw ups from GW. So actually, let me do something here. Have I run into the Bile Titans Stalkers yet? I've run into the Bile Titans, and I have run into the Stalkers. I've made quite a bit of progress in Helldivers 2. Not as much as I'd like. I'm only level 25 or 24, 24 or 25, something like that. I wish I was further along, but I haven't had a lot of free time. I'm between editing videos, working on the podcast, trying to get this done, and also trying to keep up with my day job, which has been pretty hectic. Yeah, I have very little free time at the moment. Probably play some Helldivers tomorrow before I go to work. And upside with tomorrow is I work at night tomorrow. I have a night shift tomorrow, and not a morning shift. Today I had a night shift as well, but that's because I was working a double. I got there at 10:30 in the morning, and I was supposed to work all night, all the way to 10, 11 o'clock at night, but they sent me home early because we weren't that busy. Yeah, I work 2 doubles a week right now at my job. I work 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. to like just about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh shoot! There's another set of straps right there. Dang it! They blended in. Sneaky bastards. You should work more on those Isengard model. You mean Isengard or Eisenhorn? Because you very well could be meaning Isengard because of I know there are Lord of the Rings minis. So I'm assuming that's what what you have, but Isengard. Okay, so Isengard. Okay, cool. Yeah, I never collected the Lord of the Rings miniatures. It'd be cool to get those sometime. I did click the tabletop army for Middle Earth. What army would I go? Probably. That's hard. I really like Rohan, like a lot. But aesthetically, I really like Gondor more. Because I really like that plate armor look. So probably Gondor. Even though, again, culturally, I like Rohan more. Big bunch of Isengard. Nice. And while the models aren't 40k levels of detail standard, they're pretty nice. I wouldn't know. Again, I would like to collect them one day just to have a Lord of the Rings tabletop army because it'd just be cool to have for collection's sake. And don't really can't even really think about collecting more miniatures at the moment because I gotta focus on my I have like a lot of dental stuff I gotta do. As it is, I had $840 I had to spend on this back tooth 2 days ago, and I have even more money I got to spend on it soon because I also have to get a chrome cap for it. But before I can get the chrome cap, I got to get a root canal. Yeah, my dentist is getting their share of my money at the moment. It's not fun, but that's life. I do have insurance, but they haven't done much to help me. $840 was how much I had to pay after insurance. Otho Erlingus! Yes. Seriously, still one of the best speeches, and not only in like literature history of all time, but every time I watch that scene from that movie, and I'm sure Pierce will agree, it just sends chills down your spine. Like it gets you pumped to fight to the death, to go into battle to an uncertain result, and die for your people. I love Lord of the Rings minis. They're what made me aware of tabletop wargaming is even a thing. I think it's been 15 plus years since then, and now I feel old. Well, don't feel old, Lady Runesong, because I think all of us here are old. Or getting older. You know, like tabletop gaming and tabletop stuff in general is kind of an older person's hobby. Not explicitly, obviously, like the kids who get into it, right? But generally, especially with like the modern day generations and all that shit, I'd say it's an older person's hobby. But by older, I mean just basically above the age of 22, 23, early 20s. Even though I got into it in my teenage years, I'm a bit of an exception to the rule, I think, in that regard. I think most people, though, if you get into this hobby without like outside influences, like your parents or something, generally, if you come across it yourself, you're probably not going to get into it unless you're like of an older age, I would argue. You definitely can't afford it until you're of an older age. So older people, but we never grow up? Exactly. Worked. So I think this is ready to test my theory. Alright, first things first. Aesthetic blue. Aesthetic blue. Alright, fingers crossed this actually works. Kind of hard to see in this lighting. Daniel Lindsay, welcome to the stream. Just got home, oh sexy wings. I'm glad you like the sexy wings. Yes, I'm currently working on the blade. Did that. Pretty pointy as well. Yes, indeed it is. Almost forgot. Where do you get the little clamp thing, Asmo? It looks like a better option than gluing pieces to sticks and such. Oh, they're just little alligator clips. You can get it like a set of 25 or 50 of them on Amazon for like, well, you could for like $10. Now I think they're probably more. But yeah, I use them for sub-assembly. A technique, weirdly enough, I learned from the Gundam community. Because they do a lot of airbrushing and stuff. I don't do a lot of airbrushing, but I do a lot of painting, so it's like a very good alternative option. Yep, just little alligator clips. Again, they're incredibly disposable, very easy to reuse, and you can fit them on little skewers, like what are normally used for like kebabs and stuff. I use them and for like a pretty good handhold. All right, we'll let that dry, and hopefully that looks how I hope it's gonna look. That should dry it. So while the center of that dries, I think I can do a very... You suck at modding, but those look awesome? What look awesome? Oh, for the medieval too. Oh, okay. I don't know. So how's that look, Matthew Gordon? What's your thoughts? Look shiny, but does it look good? I was hoping for yeah, that looks good, Asmo, or you know a confirmation. You likey? Okay, good, good. Skywind we finish before you die? Skywind. This is one of those things I should know, and I'm not coming to mind. How's that looking? Yeah, at a distance, I'm kind of hoping it looks... Yeah, trying to make sure it looks like the energy is actually starting here and kind of building up through the spear tip. Kind of giving it also like a lightning, electrical look to it. Trying to be subtle about it too, so it's not like over the top, but hoping it looks appropriate for what I'm trying to do there. At a distance, I don't know if it looks any better at a distance. Sorry I haven't been talking much the last, like, 10 minutes or so. It's just trying to make progress on this, but also trying to make it look as good as I can possibly make it. Is keeping me occupied. Oh, boy. Ugh. It's gunmetal. Where the hell's my silver? It's 1 a.m. Okay, so as much as I wish I could make the title of the stream true, it's not gonna all get done tonight. At least on the upside, the biggest barrier to finishing, the wings, is pretty much done. I just gotta do the gems. Otherwise, these look pretty much what I was hoping for. Hopefully they... Damn, they got one. They got a wicked wingspan here. Let me do a dry fitting. If I can, without gluing them. Alright. Kinda, sorta doing dry fit in there. It's very loose. Alright. Just doing one wing. Yeah, it's got. That's why again. You see, that's a wingspan, right? Yeah. See why I gotta package it. The wings not glued on. Because if I did the wings glued on, that would be crazy. Yeah, these wings are big. Very fucking big. But they look great, so there's that. But yeah, I gotta head to bed. I still work tomorrow. Is a sad thing. Thankfully I work tomorrow night, so I could sleep in a little bit. But yeah, still got plenty left to do. Sorry, Matthew Gordon, it's not done yet, but I'm trying to make it the best it can possibly be, while also trying to get it done in a timely manner. So that's the challenge. That's the challenge. But progress is being made. Progress is being made. Hopefully I'll have it done. Trying to factor in the lack of free time I have coming up. Hopefully I'll have it done shoot. I don't even want to pitch you a day, because to be honest, like, my schedule's so fucking full. Damn it. But I'm gonna call it there, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I know, like, especially towards the end and the very beginning, I was very quiet. We'll try and be more talkative on the next stream. But yeah, making progress. Making progress. Love you guys. Bye-bye.